Good evening, Zimbabwe. You're listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Friday, December 17th, 2021. This is Live Talk. I'm Jonga Kandemiri.
And I'm Gibbs Dube in Maryland.
Tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about the COVID-19, farming, and other issues. First, a look at COVID-19. According to the Minister of Health, 12 people died of COVID-19 in Zimbabwe yesterday, and over 4,000 tested positive for COVID-19. In its daily report, the Minister of Health also said more than 4 million people have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and just over 3 million their second. Indications are that Zimbabwe, like many African nations, won't be able to achieve its target of vaccinating almost 40% of the population by end of this year. In other news, farmers in some parts of Zimbabwe say they've received little rains since the onset of the agricultural season. We have interviews with some of the farmers. At the same time, an organization known as Sister to Sister is teaching girls to be self-reliant. Gibbs.
Yebo kambe mahlaba ezulu linjani lapha likhona endaweni zonke zomhlaba ezijiyeneyo. Namhlanje ku-Live Talk sixoxa ngakhonokho-ke elikwaziyo kakhulu i-COVID-19. So siyabona ukuthi-ke i-COVID-19 idla ubhedu sibili kwele Zimbabwe. Kulo uhlangothi lwezempilakahle luyabika ukuthi kulabantu abayi-12 ababulawe i-COVID-19 izolo. Bathi abadlula 4,000 ngabantu abahlolwe batholakala belegciwane le-COVID-19. Kuyabika njalo ukuthi-ke abantu abadlula 4 million sebahlatshwa ijekiseni yakuqala, bese kusithi-ke abadlula 3 million ngasebahlatshwa ijekiseni yesibili. Siyakwazi ukuthi i-COVID-19 siyabamba abantu abadlula 186,000 kwele Zimbabwe. So nxa singena kokunye siyakhuluma ngakho namhlanje, sikhuluma ngabalimi, jonga abalimi sibili bayakhala ngezulu bathi izulu alikho kwele Zimbabwe, so bayabihla sibili okunye okumangalisayo. Saphinda futhi sixoxe labenhlanganiso ye-Sister to Sister, labanye abantu abangani bayabenefita kukhonokho jonga kunjalo ba.
Ndizvozvo vadiwa vateereri muchirongwa chedu nhasi chelive talk uri musi wa17 zvita 2021 17 December 2021 tiri kukurukura nezvedenda reCovid-19. Tiri kuona kuti uwandu hwevanhu vari kubatwa nedenda iri pamwe nekufa naro huri kukwira zuva nezuva. Nezuro bazi rezveutano rakazivisa kuti vanhu 12 kana kuti 12 vakafa neCovid-19 munyika, uye vamwe zviuru 4,240 kana kuti 4,247 vakawanikwa vaine COVID-19. Tichitarisa nemusi wechitatu vanhu vanokwana kuita 14 vakafa zvakare neCovid-19, vanodarika 4,000 zvakare vachiwanikwa vaine denda iroro. Zviri kuratidza kuti denda irori rakuenda richikwira, vanhu vange vachizvichengetedza kuitira tisaramba tichirasikirwa nehama neshamwari vari kufa neCovid-19. Tinoona kuti kubva patanga chirwere cheCovid-19 munyika, vanhu vabatwa nacho kusvika pari nhasi vasvika pa186,304 kana kuti zviuru 106 zvine mazana matatu nevana 186,304. Koti bazi reutano rakazivisawo zvakare kuti kusvika nezuro vanhu vakanga vabayiwa nhomba yekutanga vakanga vasvika pamamiliyoni 4,23,13 kana kuti 4,023,013. Koti vabayiwa nhomba yepiri inokurudzirwa kuti vanhu vange vachiwana kudzivirirwa kuzere kubva kuCovid-19 vakanga vasvika pamamiliyoni 3,35,000 zvine 172 kana kuti 3,035,192. Uwandu ihwohwu huri pasi pachienzaniswa neuwandu hunotarisirwa nehurumende kuti vanhu vange vabayiwa nhomba kusvika panopera gore rino, asi tisarasa mbereko nekufirwa nguva ichiripo pachine mazuva 14 days to go kuti gore ringe richipera. Pamwe patinosvika musi wa31 December uwandu ihwohwo unenge hwasvikwa, asi Zimbabwe tonzwa kuti iri mukati medzimwe nyika muAfrica dziri kunzi dzatadza kusvika panga pachitarisirwa neWorld Health Organization kuti kusvika pari nhasi dzinge dzabaya vanhu vane uwandu hwakati. Tichatarisawo zvakare imwe nyaya iri kunetsa munyika, inyaya yekunonoka kwemvura. Kune mamwe matunhu, kune matunhu kwayanaya kwacho mvura yacho iri kunzi ishoma zvakanyanyisa. Saka tichatarisa nyaya iyoyo nekuti nemutori wedu wenhau Ezra Chisaswanda ane nzvimbo dzaakashanyira achitaura nevarimi tichizvinzwira matambudziko avari kusangana nawo. Koitawo nyaya imwe yesangano rinonzi Sister to Sister riri kubatsira vanasikana nemadzimai echidiki vari kukura nezvinhu zvakasiyana siyana. Ndo nyaya dzatichakurukura nhasi, Gibbs.
Yes, I guess we had an interview with Rusike. That's Dr. Rusike. Can you say something about it?
Hongu tine hurukuro yataita navaItai Rusike vanove mutungamiri wesangano rinorwira utano hwakanaka munharaunda reCommunity Working Group on Health pamusoro pekukwira kweuwandu hwevanhu vari kubatwa neCovid-19 pamwe neuwandu hwevanhu vari kufa neCovid-19. Ngatinzwei vaRusike tichikurukura navo muhurukuro iyi.
Ye lapha ke kulo baba uRusike okhulumela ojonga kantemiri ngakhonokho ke okubhekane labantu kwele Zimbabwe. uRusike ke ukhangela khonokho ke okuhambelana lezempilakahle. Wothi ke sizwe ukuthi utheni lapho uRusike.
Avo vakashayikwa nekuda kwechirwere cheCovid-19 zvinhu zvinosiririsa zvikuru kurasikirwa nevana veZimbabwe nekuda kwedenda iri reCovid-19, asi zviri kutiratidzawo zvekare kuti fourth wave iya yava kukomba, yava kutiratidza kuti yasvika panguva iya yava kukonzeresa kurwara kwevanhu vakawanda uye kurasikirwa neupenyu kwevanhu vakawanda.
Saka poitwa sei vaRusike kuti vanhu vasaramba vachirasikirwa neupenyu nedenda reCovid-19?
Vanhu ngatibvei mupfungwa dziya dzekutarisa zvemavhariensi. Hondo huru yatinayo ndeyekurwisana nedenda reCovid-19. Toramba tichitevedzera zvese zvatagara tichiita izvo zvinotibatsira kuderedza dambudziko rekubatwa nechirwere cheCovid-19. Hazvinei kuti ivharienti reOmicron kana kuti ndereDelta. Mumwe nemumwe ngatiregedzei zvachose kuti vhairasi iri risatombopinda mumuviri medu. Nekuda kwekuti vanhu tine mitezo yakasiyana siyana, ngatibviseiwo zvekare pfungwa dziya dzekutaurwa nevamwe kunzi vharienti iri riri mild, harisi kunyanyorarisa vanhu pasi, asi nekuda kwekuti vanhu takasikwa zvakasiyana siyana. Iwe unogona kuita munyama rikakurarisa pasi uye rikasvika pakukutorera upenyu. Saka toda kuramba tichipa yambiro iyoyo kune veruzhinji. Kufa kwemunhu mumwe chete chaiye zvinhu zvinofanira kutirwadza, zvinhu zvinofanira kutityisa izvozvo.
Tingatarisira here kuti denda iri richasimuka kudarika zvaririye zvino kumberi uku vaRusike?
Kumberi kwatiri kuenda uku, tikaramba tichivarairwa, tiri kuona kuti vanhu vakawandisa zvikuru vanozosvika pakurasikirwa neupenyu nekuda kwedenda iri reCovid-19. Asi regai nditi dambudziko riripo pari zvino izvi nderekuti vamwe vanhu vanofungidzira kuti vakawana mapurisa kana kuti vezvemutemo ndopo votanga kuda kuedzesera kupfeka mamaski kana kuda kuedzesera kutevedzera matanho aya ari kutarwa nehurumende kuzvidzivirira. Handizvo badzi kwete, isu tiri kuti hazvinei nemapurisa izvi zvekuzvidzivirira kubva kudenda reCovid-19. Kuzvidzivirira kubva kudenda reCovid-19 rinotori basa rako iwe neni.
Pane vamwe vaRusike vari kuti nhau yedzidziso inenge iri kusarira kumashure, saka vanhu vakawanda vari kuramba vachibatwa nedenda reCovid-19. Munoti?
Nhau yedzidziso haiperi, inongoramba ichipihwa. Nhau yekuzvichengetedza ibasa rako iwe nyamunhu, ndiwe unokwanisa kuzvichengetedza. Hakuna chinhu chinokunda upenyu. Upenyu hwakakosha, asi kuti ukwanise kuzvichengetedza muhorodo ino, iwe ndiwe unofanirwa kutoona zvaungaite kuzvidzivirira. Iwe kana wanga usati wabayiwa, chitoenda unobayiwa. Kana une hama isati yabayiwa, ikurudzire inobayiwa. Kana mudunhu mako mune vamwe vanga vasati vabayiwa, ngatikurudziranirei kuti vanhu tiende tinobayiwa. Nekuda kwekuti tikasadaro, tiri kuona tarisai nyika yeSouth Africa, makesis ari kukwira, vari kurasikirwa neupenyu vari kukwira. Imo muno muZimbabwe makesis ari kukwira, vari kurasikirwa neupenyu vari kukwira. mukatarisa nyika dzemhiri kona UK uku macases ari kukwira, saka denda reCovid-19 riri kuramba richitekeshera tichinaro. Tikasangwara tinosangana nedambudziko rakatozokurisisa kudarika zvatakambosangana nazvo zvana ma-second wave, zvana ma-third wave, zvana madelta zviya zvichatosara pasi, sezvo omicron yatasangana nayo iyi iri kunzi inotapuriranwa zviri nyore kudarika mamwe mavariants ese atambosangana nawo pari zvino.
There you are, Chonga.
Thank you so much, Gibbs. We heard there from community working group director Itai Rusike, that's Mr. Itai Rusike. He was explaining on the on concerns over the rise in COVID-19 cases and deaths. He's saying that it's an individual's responsibility to protect himself or herself from the pandemic. We should not look at the government. We should not look at organizations like his community working group on health for them to protect us, but it should be our responsibility to protect us, to protect ourselves from the pandemic. And also he says, let's not concentrate on variants, because he says people are busy comparing variants. No, this one is not as strong or as serious as Delta or other variants that they know. He says it's not time to do that. It's time to fight the pandemic, to fight COVID-19 and make sure that we stop the spread. And also he says people should not get distracted by some who are saying this variant is not like Delta, because they say Delta was deadly, it was a fatal variant, not this one. He's saying no, let's not get distracted. Thank you, Gibbs.
Kunjalo ke khonokho ke kunya ngojonga lapha ke sizwe ke ubaburusike nokusebenza kwezempilakahle sibile khuluma ngakhonokho okwenzakalayo emhlabeni wonke jikelele. Njalo la leZimbabwe sithi abantu kumele bazivikele bona ngokwabo kumkhuhlane we-COVID-19. Uthi wena ulomlando ukuthi uvikele abanye abantu njalo uzivikele wena. So ke kunjalo ke Jonga uyakhuthaza sibile abantu ngendlela enjalo. So silo ezelithisa sibanda njalo ekubulawayo oxoxe khona labanye abantu ngesikhathi se-COVID-19. So ezothisa sibanda has been talking to a lot of people, you know, some of them actually selling different things on the streets. Let's listen to this interview, Jonga.
Esibhoda sixoxa abantu okubula abantu bakithi imisebenzi ayitholakala kodwa ke abantu bazama uzinceda lamajaga lapha ke igama mbani Lloyd lo
talent Mhlanga
esimhlanga
ukuyimbatha
ngibona laba lenzana emarket la
imali labasenza ukuthengisa ama vegetables
yiwo la sezinqolela lithengisa waphi la waphi
ukuthi ezoliyana sothi singawuthengisa konke ezokuthengisa kodwa wonke ama veg awula veg esingayithengisa
lina vele alizake lisebenza
hayi sezingaguga nginje sengiyela payslip asiyazi ibhala kanjani payslip
alizake lisebenze nje empela
since even loba ungikade influencer
so lathi lakhula lithengisa la wona njona libaningi kakhulu kana abantu bonke laba bavela njona kugcwela lezuliyana bagcwele ngale abanye bagcwele ngale abantu bonke laba bathengisa lapha bavela ngale
amazinda abanye bangikhona uqothela izulu
ngithi kodwa bavela ngaphi wona
abanye bavela phetsheya amazinda babuya bezosibangisa futhi ngaphi izindawo
khathesi ibhizinisi abantu abaninzi lapha liyatshaya lapha ibhizinisi kutsho ukuthi-ke akusela bhizinisi nxa kunje namhla abantu bayadlula ngezimoto abathengi yabona imoto ziyadlula nje inqola zenu zihlalele zizodwa
abona into the customer one sitholi le customer
so lapho kutsho ukuthi isikhathi sonke nxa kusenizulabe liluza la
kakhulu
ndikuthatha ngakho nokho ukuthengisayo ngoba abantu uthengisa amagwili amakhabithi tomatisi okunye kuyini
lokuba lama-supplier amafama kwesinye isikhathi lawo maye uyuthathabi okunye zikulanda zenza okulanda kiwo siphethe phakathi la komzima kakhulu
wona usuthethelwe unonkosikazi awuzange usebenze kodwa solobona ulobole ngemali yemakethe
ukukangaziwa ngathi
wena-ke lawo nonkosikazi ngikangaziwe kuphela
akangaziwe kuphela izikoloto zimbulele ngikhona la
wena-ke
9:30 angakhiphi ilutho kodwa ngivane ngafika ngithe zakhipha khona umsindo.
Oh wawakhiphi wena. Uhlezi umntana abantu. Wenzani bona basebenza wena?
Bahlezi.
Bameleleleni la.
Bameleleleni. Yasebenza ngalami ngasebenza.
Abantwana bangaki kodwa? Wena lonto?
Ngale 6.
6.
Number 2. Izongaphatha irent payment ngazinto engibhadala irent.
Ulungeke. Ulungeke.
Amnande wani.
Okay. Kodwa imali le uyithola lapha lenelisa ukuthi bagcine.
Hayi kade sokakathesi vele senza ukuthi sithole imali ezithiyeko kuphela ukugada sibuye. Awunengi lokho uthola imali erent kuphela. Awunengi lokho. Yokuthi ngathenga iproperty uthenga indlu lemoto.
So into ehlala kuzo asoze liyaloja la.
Indlu. Ngathi indlu yabi ngeyami inyabe ngiyithiyelwe ngumzali. Ngathi abantu abapheslip bengelazo.
Lawa pheslip babalazo. Kodwa phela abantwana bakhulu linalenza imali udlula abasebenzayo.
Bebona sibara amabhondi. Amabhondi ngathi imali yokugada sipende ukuthenga lesithiyeko. Lesithiyeko siyadula. Kade sisenthe izagada ne50 pone ezithazu useyisebenzisa.
Wena ulabe edrobheni sisala wakhwela.
Ngawulala. Ulala kwethu ulala uvuka. Uvuka ekseni uthola
ukhwelile. Kodwa uzubuka so ehulumeni.
Ngoyehulumeni.
Kodwa mina ngaphela tshintsha ama-price.
Sokwenza ke. Bengasitshelanga. Sokwenza ke. Onje siyasibona simile so interview so ngamala sesikubalekela balesi staff lapha nasibalekela iCouncil.
Batha lokho belithathela kanti.
100%. Abanye kade singabona khona apha.
Bakuthathela kuyanga.
Sikwazi.
Abamusheyini kono.
Awushiya.
Bakusanga. Bakulahla.
Thina ukusukuthengisa ngedola engibona bakuthengisa nge10 gold.
Oh bathengisa. Kodwa manje ngalivalele emamarket kunje kuyabe kuthwele enzene empilweni zenu.
Nathi sesiphele. Bathi siye ekhaya kodwa ngihambe ekhaya ingela muzi. Ngiyahlala umzini kabantu.
Ekhaya wakho kade ufuna ukudla.
Kuyafuna kalo. Unyawo wakha ngani? Kufanele yakhona ukudula ngapha. Unyawo wakha ngani umuzi? Lapha siyagodobisa mntana. Konoko ngamasentinyana kunuko.
Isikhalazo zinilithini manje?
Awukhulumeni ngini.
Athina.
Akabona ukuthi hayi sidubekile thina la. Seze siguga size indebe ezimhlobo.
Ungazange usebenze.
No what 2 laba number 2 3 ayisiphathe kahle isicabangele la.
Alama leli hola nje abantu angasebenzeli. Even ogogo labelabo la market abaholi.
Ngamadona aso government.
Yiwani kogogo la.
Kanti futhi nathi bonke.
Libona ungalungiseka kuthweni konke lo.
Singazi uma uhulumende ongathinta.
Angathinta
la umcabango.
Manje bese lisenza njona ke konke kuludlongdla konke kuyafana nabazombusazwe labaqondakali bonke kuthweni.
Afana ngizule lo ngomanda hambe ijani ngene. Yabona iTestimas ngihambe manje. Ngoba lo umsebenzi osenza lo ngumsebenzi ezalukwazi.
So ungavula amanda akho setshenziswa.
Lo msebenzi ezalukwazi thamele sisemandaba. Kunje so sitshayisa sibasithengele izalukwazi lapha sesezi lapha. Ayikona ukuthi mina ngisemarket. Leli ngelami box la ugogo. Leli ngelami antu yabonayo.
Kuyaqina kuliwa la.
Vele kuqina kuliwa. Sothi ugogo kulala usalukazi. Ngenxa yani.
Kukhona sake balimaza nawe emarket.
Batholakala.
Besilo.
Bebangamahlaba.
Wena wenzani bengakulanda wena. Azaba kuhlukumeze wena. Bakwesaba phela abantu wena.
Abamesabi.
Abamesabi. Lingaba ngihlamvu la.
Yabona antu yabona lana amahlamvu lawa. Yabona. Imali yona leya. Mina ngifike ngithengisa anginikaza amakhabithe nangena nabona yafaka lapha. Yabona. Amahlamvu lana athengiswa nawo. Angathola engekho ngumsini. Abe kwazi ukuthi matho thethe umhlango uthethe mbeke imethethe sokungumsini.
Ilamle nje ndaba khona abantu bangenela.
Hayi uyagcina ukhiphile ngoba umuntu uyabe lo la. Umuntu ufuna ungokwakhe.
Okay. So liqhaza sikhathi bana
ukuthengisa. 8 yona lesi sikhathi safa wayikhapha.
Liqhaza sikhathi.
ngibona ngoba kade sebesivumela ukuthi siphumela betown ngoba
8 ikhefi ngo10
so 6-7
okay ngicela lilayele ke abantu abazofuna ukuthenga ikakhulu alibukele eSouth Africa ko-UK America nxa besekhaya nangamajaha laba babuye ngaphi la nga balithole ngawo
athina silula i-office asila
yeah
thina sitholakala kukhona Jason no5 Avenue
Jason no5 Avenue
yes
vela ziselakala sehlela babona vela baselakala omunye wabo uyabe khona kuphela lo wasengithe
unemntu
ukhona ngani ke number
bese phone
khuluma mina
0788 34 9404
iphinde
0788 34 9404
asiyabonga bakithi
0719 34 94 34 9409.
There you are, Chonga. So these gentlemen are actually selling a lot of wares in Bulawayo. So they sell things like cabbages, tomatoes, and all those kind of things. And they're saying that they've never been employed, you know.
They've never held a pay slip.
A pay slip. So this is very tough, you know.
I know.
They've never been employed. The factories are actually closed and all those kind of things. And they're saying during the rain season, they've got a problem because of low business. You know, when it's raining outside, you can't be selling your wares. And they get cabbages, tomatoes, and all those wares from nearby farms. At times, you know, the farmers deliver some of these things. And basically, they're saying they are getting money for only transport and food, nothing else.
Hand to mouth.
Hand to mouth. And most of them are lodgers, you know, they can't afford to buy houses. And they went to the extent of saying even people with pay slips can't even buy houses. Then Ezra Chisaswanda asked them a question about them going to their rural areas. They said, no, they can't do that. They are now very old. They are getting old, you know. They've never been working, and what can they do there? And they cried foul over the Zupco fares. They're saying these fares are always going up anytime. And in most cases, they're being harassed by the police, council police, and ordinary police. So they are looking for government help. What is interesting is that all of them are married. They've got their wives who are not working. And one of them has got 6 kids.
6 kids.
6.
Yes.
And basically, the other thing is they haven't paid Lobola, you know. Yeah, so kunjalo for it.
Ongwadiwa vateereri manzwa zvanga zvichitaurwa nevarume vatatu vataura nemutoro wedu wenhau Ezra Chisaswanda kuBulawayo. Vari kutengesa vanorarama nekutengesa hanzi tiri pakona paJason na5 Avenue muBulawayo. Saka ndo pavanowanikwa ipapo, asi hanzi dambudziko nderekuti vari kungowana cheuviri chekungoti vakwanise kukwira bhazi kuenda kunotengesa kwavanenge vari nekudzokera kumba nekungotenga chikafu chezuva iroro yatingati hand to mouth. Vataurawo dambudziko rekuti kana kuchinaya vanoita matambudziko ekuti havakwanisi kunge vari panze pavanotengesera, uyewo makastoma vanotenga vanoitawo vashoma nekuti hapana munhu angada kuenda kunotenga kuchinaya kazhinji kacho. Saka zvinovaitira kuti vange vasingawane makastoma akawanda. Hazvirevi kuti vanhu havatenge kana kuchinaya, asi kashoma kuti munhu azoita sarudzo yekuti nhasi regai ndiende kuna Jason kunotenga ikoko achisiya padhuze paine vamwe vanenge vachitengesa. Saka dai vaine makastoma avo ari regula, vanotozoti vashaye kana kuchinge kuchinaya. Vataurawo dambudziko rekuti mapurisa ekanzuru hanzi tiri kuramba tingoita hwakitsina gonzo nemapurisa pamwe chete nemapurisa eZRP hanzi vanenge vachingoti tandanisa. Asi nyaya hombe yavataura inosiririsa ndeyekuti hapana ane imba, hapana atabata payslip muupenyu hwake, uye vati vane vana nemadzimai. Kumadzimai ikoko havasati vabhadhara mari yerora kana lobola. Ndo imwe nyaya yavataura. Ezra avabvunzawo kuti muri kudii kuenda kumarizevha kunogara ikoko, dzimwe nguva munonowana upenyu huri nani. Asi vati vatokura vanga vasina midzi kumarizevha zvekuti kuti vachitanga kuenda kunogara kumamisha kumarizevha zvinovanetsa, beta vashupika vari pavari. Ndo nyaya yavari kutaura iyoyo. tinoshuvira kuti pane vanzwa nhamba dzavo dzavataura vanokwanisa kunge muchizovabata muchivabatsirawo pano nepapo. Kubatsira hakureve nekungovatengera chete, munovabatsirawo nekuvapawo mari yekuti vanokwanisa kunge vachienda kunohodha mapurazi kwavanotenga. Hanzi tinotenga mapurazi akapoteredza ndokwavanowana. Dzimwe nguva vemapurazi vacho vanombodhirivhara vachiuya nazvo, asi kazhinji ndo vanotofamba kuenda kunotenga. Saka zvichireva kuti mari shoma yavanozowana iyoyo inobva yangoperera mutransport kuenda kunohodha kuti vadzoke vatengese. Gibbs.
Kunjalo konke kukhulunywa nguJonga Kandomeri amadoda lawa ahlupe kakhulu. So njalo ke silabanye ke okuthiwa sister to sister. This is a non-governmental organization that helps people. It helps even commercial sex workers and people to actually make a living out of what they can. So in this case, they were in Kariba, where they were teaching people about, dangers of commercial sex work and other things. Let's listen to one of the beneficiaries of this program.
Ashika ayo hango madziyo chingotorwa tichienda tichidaro asi pakasvika nguva yekuti ndakamboti rwarei kurwara kwangu kaisingazitenda ichi ndikabatwa tichirwara bonde zvirwere zvebonde zviya ndaenda kukiriniki dzimweni dzenguva ndaisvika asi ndakasvika rimwe zuva ndakatambudzika maonero andakaita musikana mabatirwo akanga aitwa kuri kukiriniki yedu chaino. Ataura chirwere chake chebonde nezvaakanga aitwa mabatirwo akanga aitwa. Ndakabva ndatotya ndikabva ndabuda ndikati handidzoke futi pano. Kana ndichitonofa nganditenda nditongonofa zvangu zvakatodaro. Asi ndakarangarira ndikafunga ndakagara kumba ndikarara asi ndaingobuda ndichingoenda kumboti bonde riya rega ndingoendawo hameno zvazvinenge zvaita ikoko ndisingamboone kuti zvakamira sei. Tati gare ndakasangana nemumwe musikana ndikamutaurira dambudziko rangu ndikati ndiri kurwara. Bati marwariro andiri kuchaya ndachati ndoita sei? Handina kana mari yekuenda kwachiremba kana mari yekuita sei. Ndopakanditi iwe unoziva here kuti kune inonzi sisters clinic. Ndikati sisters clinic ipi? Zvikanzi sisters clinic iri padhuze kuseri kwaiyo. Apana ndiri kuHarare nguva iyoyo. Ndobva ndati horaiti ngatiende zvikanzi ndokutora toenda tese unorapwa. Kunorapwa vasikana. Chipatara chevasikana icho. Kunodiwa mari zvikanzi hakungodiwa mari. Unongoenda zvaungori izvozvo ndozvaunoenda vakaita. Zveshuwa ndakatorana naye ndikaenda kuchipatara. Ndichisvika kuchipatara ndanga ndine stigma yandakanga ndinayo yekuva ndakabvenge ndamboenda ndichida kuti ndirapwe. Ndakasvika ipapo zveshuwa mabatirwo andakaitwa panosvika nzvimbo inonzi sesha. Handizive kuti kana ndimwari vakanga vati imbonoenda kuti uwane kana kuti uite sei handizivi. Ndakabatwa zvekuti handina kunzwisisa kuti kune zvakadaro zvainenge zvichiitika. Ndakarapwa ndikapedza.
Lapho ke umama uyakhuluma sibili ukuthi yena wake wabanjwa umkhuhlane wecansi. Uthi ke yena wayephila ngakhonokho ukuthi abedinga amadoda esiya lawo emacansini lezinto ezinjalo. Uthe sokunjalo ke wabanjwa umkhuhlane lowo. Uthe sumbambile umkhuhlane kwaba nzima kakhulu ukuthi ayelatshwe. WayeseHarare lapho untombazana. Wahlala sibili isikhathi eside engelatshwanga kodwa esenza umsebenzi. So kwasekusithi ngelilanga wahlangana lomunye umama nje wacela ukuthi azi ukuthi yena kambe wancedakala njani ezebhekane lakho lokho. So wasekhuluma ke ukuthi hayi nxa ufuna ukuthi uncedakale hambe endaweni okuthiwa sister to sister lapho ke uzancedwa khona. So wasehamba ke wayelatshwa uthi bamamukela kuhle kakhulu Jonga umama la.
Yes, we heard from one of the women who are being assisted by sister to sister. She was explaining how she got into prostitution. That was after she divorced and had to take care of 2 kids. And she was wondering how she was going to take care of the kids. And she said at that time, even having a stall or a market was not going to help her. But while she was pondering what to do, she met a friend who enticed her. She showed the money she was making from prostitution, and well, the next thing she was convinced and joined the trade. And by doing that, she also exposed herself to many diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. And during that course of time, she contracted that disease and went to a clinic where she sought assistance. But while she was waiting for her turn to get treated, there was another lady who also had STIs, and she said that the way the lady was treated by the nursing staff at that clinic, she just had to slip out of the clinic and vowed never to seek any treatment because she was humiliated. So she said while she was still nursing that STI, she was still doing the business because she had to fend for her kids. Imagine how many people she was meeting and spreading the STIs. And then a friend later introduced her to sister clinic where she got treated. And that stigma she was carrying, she said she never felt it again. Gibbs.
It's a very tough profession, Jonga. Bathwele nzima omama laba ngoba laba abahlangana khona labantu kuyahlupha okunye okumangalisayo. So bagcina besenza izinto eziningi. Let's listen to another person here who is relatively young, talking about her experience about life, you know. Says life is something else.
Okay, kuti wasikana vechidiki tikudzidzawo kuti zvoni tisamhanye kuroorwa mudzimba because pane vamwe vatinavo vakadzi vechidiko vari kusangana nemaproblems mudzimba vachirwa nevarume saka zvinongodzidzisa kuti tisamhanye kuroorwa timbotanga dairo mabhizinesi edu ungo munhu anozvibatira zvinhu zvako kana kuti ungomirira upeye murume hazvizonde kudaro imwewo nyaya yeHIV and AIDS toudzwa kuti usashandise masharp objects makawanda unongo like ukashandisa reza unofanira kurasa kuti because unobatirawo HIV and AIDS plus futi tinoencouragea kuti tiende kunotestwa after 3 months testwa HIV and AIDS zvimwe hazvisi zvinongokonzera kuti ubatire HIV and AIDS haisingori kuti waita sexual intercourse nesomeone usinawo protection takadzidzisa kuti matypes of protection anokwanisa kuitwa kuti usabatire pamuviri usingade kumhanya mudzimba because these days generation yedu hapana pauchaudza mwana kuti zvoni regera abstain from sex hapana munhu ari kuzvikwanisa vanhu vari kutongoita izvozvo saka kutongomuudzawo kuti asaite mimba takutongoaudza kuti ngaenda unobayiwawo madhepo unoiswa majadhi avo ushandisawo mapills anonzi nezvemalupe and stuff ushandisawo macondoms protection ndo zvimwe zvatingadzidzawo
There you are, Jonga. So that's a young lady who is talking about, you know, some of these STIs and things like that. So, you know, it's always a worry, you know, among these youngsters that they always do these things because it's nature, you know, and they have to do it at times. But
Yes.
then we always contain the way they have to do it, like, you know, don't abstain from sex before marriage and all those kind of things. So I know that you and I present cultural programs over the weekend.
Yeah.
And in most cases, we talk to such people and they express a lot of, you know, feelings about, you know, how elderly people used to protect themselves from having some sexual engagements before marriage. But they're saying this time around, you know, when the economy is low and when people are facing so many challenges, they end up doing these things because they have no alternative, Chonga, according to them. So they end up indulging in sex, and it's so disappointing that at one stage you'll see that many of these youths actually doing such things. Yeah,
You know,
so
Gibbs, what hurts most is that she is talking of now that the young girls or this new generation, the young generation. She says it's no longer possible to tell them to abstain from sex. But what
Yeah.
needs to be done now is to tell them how to have safe sex. You see the difference now, Gibbs?
Yes.
Mm,
So that's a problem, really.
mm.
So now let's go ahead with some other people that actually were recorded by Nonurai. You know, he was interviewing them on different things. Some of them he was asking about, Studio 7, whether they like it or not, and all those kind of things. So let's roll the tape.
ari muno muzimbabwe
kana nemamuwo zvavo
ndinofarira national fm zvakanyanya ndiyo station yandinofarira nezvikonzo zvekuti mitauro yakawanda inotaurwa po ndinoinzwa saka ndinoifarira zvakanyanya radio zimbabwe ndinoiteererawo zvakare kusanganisa nestudio
7 munoiteerera kupi kwachona ende uyezve nguva idzipi idzodzo
ini ndinogara kunonzwa eliot maclemo munomfinisi saka muvakidzani wangu ndiye ane radio inobata station yestudio 7 saka kuma7 o'clock kwega kwega ndio panguva dzatinoteerera studio 7
munototeerera muri kumba kwake
ndinenge ndakagara kumba kwangu ndinenge ndichiziva kuti dzimba dzedu dzinoita ndinomboiteerera kunyanya nhau ndozandinyanyoda kunzwa kuma7 o'clock dzemanheru
makatanga kuinzwa rini studio 7
ndane nguva anengatoti pamwe nekutokura kwandatoita chikana 7 dzachianenda kutomhanyira kunogara kuda kunzwa studio 7
but sei muchida kuiteerera studio 7
aiwa ndinokunge ndiine nhau dzechokwadi chaisi chokwadi ndichandinoda pastudio 7 haina zvayakambotaura kati kareka kuzozvinzwa kana kuti zvakatomboitika
nhau dzamunonyanya kuda ndedzechiini
ndongoti zvese
politics here dzehealth here dzesport here dzamunonyanya kuda
ndezveutano
aitambambo eleminyaka engu-95 ngilalela i-student 7
uko aitambambo ule 94 years ulapha kuthiwa ngamanje koko
umbambo
la
ekhaya
kuthiwa ngabe endaweni nayo
kwesukuneni
St. Faith evungu kuhamba njani kati gogo impilo ikhanya inzima uthi inzima kuhamba njani la
inzima sibi kakhulu asiphiwa ukudla ukudla kuphiwa bona abezana
kuphiwa bezana kusenziwa ngubani lokho
kusenziwa ngumbuso unankakho kumbe ngibona laba basipho abapha abantu ukudla
bathi uphile ngani wena
hayi bathi akuyalo
bakwazi ukuthi asoyezana
bakwazi kusukela kusesele umunyanga ngigaba azange ngiholiwe ife kuze kube la namhla
hey nxa bekhuluma labo bathini uyababona ukhulume labo
yaba ngithi kuyabhaliswa wabhaliswa phela ibizwa lisaphuma
ungaka kuyini wena uvela uyiphi party
mina ngi-MDC
uku-MDC
alliance
wasukela kudala ku-MDC
ngo-99
wahle wayingeni abantu bezanu lencitsha ugogo ngibuye lo muntu wezano yedwa ngicela ube lapha ndoda ngimbizile lo muntu ngoba ngizwile indaba yakho hlala bacenga wagogo
olapha
ugogo nawo wena ukuzana nxa ubona umuntu omdala ongaka lemncitsha ukudla uthini
lapha kule system embi politics abalandaba lezalukazi amaxhego ugogo over age basebenzisa politics abalanda abazali abasizalayo abensika abantu abadala abasidabulayo lo MDC lo ngwali party but akusebenzi khonokho yibo sidabula abasizalayo lapha abazali bethu akula politics phakathi ekudleni mina ngihole ngingumntwana ngine-35 years 45 years 50 years but 98 100 years 103 kabatholi lutho inceda ngani khona
alikukhuluma lemhlanganweni wena
siyakukhopha vela
owabekwenza kwabe kuyini kwangasoyilini abantu bezana
ngabantu bezana i-politics ngabantu bezana straight direct awumela khuluma umntana abezana
kuyandithabisa ukuthi wena ungezani ukhuluma uqinisele ngakho.
Ye ngabezana straight. Abafunda babali but bengabazali babo. Abancise empilweni nabo. Abasizalayo singabazi isizulu kasi isizukulwane. Kodwa uthi hey izana abe MDC kodwa bebasidabula igogo lapha. Silapha thina singabo laba.
Ugogo lo ngubizile uyawumbone lapha wena. Uyawumbona ugogo.
Ngiyangibona kakhulu ikhathi esiningi.
Uyakakutshela ukuthi ugogo uyadubeka akadliwa kudla iwelfare
uyancitshwa social welfare kayiholi.
So nxa ubatshela abanye bakho bathini?
Bathi ngabe MDC babancitsha. Bathi ngabe MDC why? No reason why. Kodwa bebasidabulayo abasizalayo bengabazali okhokho ogogo. That's ngabantwana nane 35 years 45 years. But niyahora everything lo kaholi kathola ilungelo lakhe. Engumuntu omdala.
Ukuthi ngokwenzeni ukuthi ngoba wasupport enye party?
Yeah kuphela simple that. Uyafoswa ukuthi support.
Kodwa uhulumende bela kawufuni lokho.
Hayi kakufuni.
Uhulumende kakufuni okwenziwa ngabantu bona abakhona besigabeni.
Exactly.
Ngoba lokho ukudla kumele ukuthola umuntu wonke.
Kakufuni.
Uzayenzani manje ayida?
Ngizazihlalela ndabe mphiwa ngabantu ababona. Ndabe mphiwa ngabantu ababona. Wona laba abakwenzayo.
Sure.
Labantu abona lo mama kuthiwa unamaha. Yebo ukuthi wena ukuthi wafika ekhaya.
Ayalima lapho ndoda. Uyakofora. Uyakofora lapha. Uyakofora. Ngiyaphila linjani? Angiyaphila. Yimi lo la. Sabona umfana ekofora. Lapho yenzani ndoda la? Try kuyini lokwenza? Uzama ukhiphana bana. Keeping good. Okay. Zebra is board as sugar round as board. Yeah.
Zibuye ekhaya uhlaleleni pha wena ukhokhele zanda phaka isisiba zibuye ekhaya sesajayela ukusebenza lapha siba
Yeah. Yasetshenziswa.
Akakhulu.
Akudlalwa.
Hayi akudlalwa.
Liyazilima liziphilise. Alimelele ukuthi kumele liholiswe.
Hayi siyakholisa.
Liyazikholisa.
Siyakholisa sini.
Hayi no. Unga. Hayi. Yasetshenziswa.
Hayi
unkazana ngale muva sudiniwe. Okay. Hayi siyabonga.
Hayi siyabonga edawini. Yebo kuze babone emazweni ukuthi hayi lathi siyazama sona.
Andiyabona.
Siyazama sibila sihlalanga. Ngoba ungakhala ngokuthi izulu kalikho uyabusumelana lo mlimi wandi. Yena uyazi ukuthi uyasiphathina okwethu kuyikuhlanyela ukumilisa ngokwakhe. Ukubona sisebenza ngokukholwa la.
Those women, singing and doing all these kind of things, Jonga. And it seems, these are ways of people enjoying themselves while they're working.
Working.
And according to this lady, it's a question of having learned some of these practices from elderly people, a mother, and so forth. So people have got these kind of historical experiences, which are being used now for crop cultivation.
Ndizvozvo Gibbs, nguva yataikurawo kana nesu maiti kana muchishanda kana kusakura makati wandei panongotangwa rumbo rwiyo, vamwe votanga kudairira, ndima inofamba, munozongoona matopedza kusakura zvama muchiita. Ndo zvava zvichiitwa nemadzimai vanga vachisakura mudunhu revhungu kulowa gweru, kwakaenda mutoro wedu wenhau Ezra Swanda achinoona zvavari kuita nenyaya dzekurima. Tafara zvikuru taona amai varatidza munda wavo, vati vane chibage, vane nzungu, vane masunflower, vataura kuti vari kubatsirwa nevazukuru vavo kushanda ikoko, vachitaura kuti izvo zvavari kuita izvi zvekudyara nguva ichiripo, vamwe vachimirira kuti kuchanaiwa vanoita early planting, andakazvidzidziswa nevabereki. Asi vaionawo zvakare vamwe vemunharaunda vakabudirira vachishandisa nzira idzodzo dzekurima. Ndo zvinhu zvinoitika kana kwese takaona kana hurumende zvino iri kushandisa pfumvudza, vanhu vanogara vachera makomba panongoita first rains muhamaisa chibage pasi. Asi vamwe vaya vanenge vachimirira kutarisa mvura yemudenga vanenge vachingoramba vachichema kuti mvura yanonoka, there are no rains, but vamwe vari kutofamba nendima. Gibbs,
akuzisitsho lapha ke khansi ukuthi umkhansila bani wanga
hayi ngiyathaba ukuba lawe mthathu wendaba. Mina ngumkhansila walapha eLwagwelo ku-Ward 7 koMdubiwa uBenjamin Mbhala evunku eMidlands.
Lapha ke khansila siyabhodabhoda sixoxa labantu lapha, abantu lonyaka kukhanya isomiso komile la.
Ya komile kakhulu, komile kakhulu. Abantu befuna nje ukuthi bazisebenzele babe lokudla ukuze ukuthi bakwanise ukufundisa abantu babo, but umumo ukhanya ngani uyasiphika. Ngoba kathesi abantu bavele bajayele ukuthi khona noma kwaze kube lendlala enjani, but ngoDisemba kumele izulu line. So abantu besithi izulu elincane lelo bafaka salima khona okuncane. Kodwa ke kathesi izulu selisibalekele, asazi ukuthi kuzahamba njani. Ngoba kathesi khonokho okwenzakalayo ukwenza ukuthi khona esigabeni kube lamasela, sibe lama robberies amathathu yona liviki khona pakithi isigabeni sakoSukunenge. Abantu bangebeza ukuthi ngithengisa inkomo, kumbeni umntana wakho lotsholiwe, kumbeni kunjani bekubonakala umalayitsha evele eGoli kumbe eBotswana ethwele izinto. Inxele lezi zinto ezinyakhona ziyabe zidlula, lezi ezinye zakho izo lezi ezikhona ziyabe zincela uphutho lokuncane phakathi kwemoto yona leyo. Abantu bakulanda ebusuku bafuna ukugogoda, bafuna ukuthi bakubulale into zakho. Kodwa ke in general abantu bevele bephila ngokukorokotsa igold. Mawo kathesi yakwazi la umgodi ngaze kube le ndawo eyithiwa igold, kambe lingayigebha yini uzokwanisa 20 years 30 years igebha ngamakhuba. So far kathesi le mgodi yakhona kayisakhiphi into sezinzima, akusela abantu basakwanisa ukuthi baziphilise. But besikhangelele nje ukuthi uNkulunkulu ngabe ithi izulu liyana. Uhulumende bebisile inhlanyelo, ama-fertilizer, abantu baqayisa ukuthi wonke imuzi every household wathola. But now iproblem esikhona ukuthi abanye ngibazange balime, vele abalimanga total. Umumbu lo ubona lapha senzakala ngancedwa i-rain gauge. So sasifundiswe ngabadomeni ukuthi ungayibona i-rain gauge yakho nxa kuyukuthi wawudulibile wachaya amagoda akho gatshopo intwasa liyana, ingazibe yi-23 2023 hlanyela. So mina ngayibona iyi-2023 noma ingagcwalisanga sifula, ase ngathatha amagoda lana ngafaka umumbu wamphansi, senze ukuhugula mbijana inhlabathi phezulu ukuthi umumbu uphume. Umumbu waphuma kwaze kube umfefezo nje, kodwa kathesi yikho lokweni lakho. So benithembele ukuthi nxa ingabe lingabuya futhi kwesibili 100, kodwa abaningi abala indima eyodwa ephumileyo. Otherwise kuzaba serious nxa kuyekuthi abantu abenza ngalokho. So besikhangelela ukuthi nje lapha kimi nxa kuyikuthi izulu lingabuya nje kanye nje linokuzwa ukuthi umfula uyagcwala, I think athe kuzaba ngcono ukuthi sikwanise ukuthi sisupportane. Ubumbu ngoba khona esigabeni noma abanye bangawutholanga, edlonga abantu bekwanisa ukuthi umila uye komunye akuthengisele igokoko uyakwanisa ukuthi uphile. So yikho kukhona.
Khona-ke kunjani ngendaba zakho ze-development kule indawo?
Right, i-development ibizama sibili ukuthi ibe khona. Sisebenza kuhle lo MP Omega, besile bridge lapha libambanisa iWard 4 inkawana lemdubiwa.
so ibridge leli lokho lisakhiwa alipheli kuhle asazi ukuphambaniseka kanjani ukuthi lingapheli so ku development lapha yiyo kade sikhangele khona now sila irrigation indawo yakithi le what 7 leba lama irrigation ayi2 irrigation emundubiwa kuzozi irrigation emambanjeni nga zonke lezi irrigation azisebenzi but so ngazani kade sibazama ukuthi bavuselele liya ngapha kithi pambanjeni kulabadoda akhona lapha ngama NGOs awesip incedisana le government yiwo abathi bona bazaqalisa next year ngoJanuary but ngendaba ze COVID-19 lezi asazi ngombe kuzaphumelela because kade abantu sebetrainiwe ama greater scheme abantu abasebenza bengaphandle kwe irrigation yona irrigation yankhona vele ingena ilabantu 168 abantu kabagcwalanga abantu basala ngaphandle so laba ama NGOs afuna ukuvuselela lapha basebesithi ebantwini thina singalina lingangeni 168 kodwa yabangaphandle lapha kumele silifundise ukuthi kulo ngoma projects okukhona ukufuya inkukhu ufuya imbuzi ufuyani so kade isikhathi sonke lesi bebusy betrain abantu ukuthi khona ngona bangaziba uJanuary lwaqali nxa kwesikhathi ngavula irrigation kuzaba lokungconywana abantu noma ngazi baswele esikorokodzeni kodwa bazagijimela ku development leyani yangale eShagari layo omega bezama la ukuthi acha ipressure lapha chaya khona ukuthi benqe ingavukelela nxa ingaba khona so far it will be so good
kodwa zomba ngazona kuthule kulezi nsuku akula budlongdlongo
no thina lapha kithi elogwelo so far athi ngakawubona udlongdlongo iqiniso elihle singabantu abazisanayo even noma uyi opposition uyi ruling party opposition ayikasilo amangamazi even last election lezi zadlulayo zange ngibone umuntu wachaya omunye wathi kube ukuthi saba le policy yokuthi kasifuni umuntu obuye egqoka ama glass ovele Harare kumbe ovele eBulawayo kumbe ovela ngapha azosixega la asuke lapho sesixegile asuka gadi legaba uyele lapha abuyela khona thina sisale sizakhamuzi sesala siyakhalelana lapho umnyanga afela sihamba siyegebhelana sigcibelana so nge politics ukuthi sibuye sizoxegwa ngamanye abantu nge politics asikuka sikuvumi lokho so sakwala lokho
hayi siyabonga mpala
hayi siyabonga kusasa ngani ngahlala libuye sizolezi highlighter sibone umgwaqo ogradiwe uyagradeka sibithi sesiphanjaniswa libridge kuphela
hayi siyabonga.
Yes, and we had a local leader here saying a lot about what is happening. You know, he's saying that the rains are late and many people have not planted anything on their fields. But he's hopeful that maybe there could be some significant rain within the next few days. So we are going to wait and see what is going to happen. And at the same time, he says there are some irrigation schemes that are in Lower Kweru. But the problem is that not everybody has been allocated land in those
irrigation schemes.
And at the same time, he's talking about goat rearing, poultry, and all those kind of projects that are being done, you know, in the area. And he says, you know, there's this issue of violence around, which is not too common in terms of people beating up each other for political reasons. But now there are people who just rob, you know, locals. If you sell your cow, you just break into your house and steal, you know? Yeah.
You know, dzimwe nguwa Gibbs nyaya yekusimudza matunhu kana yatingati urbanization inenge yaunzawo zvakare matambudziko munzvimbo dzakawanda akusiko chete kwandiri kunzwa kuri kuita dambudziko iroro rekuti kuri kubiwa vanhu vachipaza dzimba vachiba vakatakura kana kupakata zvombo tiri kuona kana kumusha kwangu kwandobva inini kuzumba uko nemamurehwa umu tiri kunzwa nyaya dzakadaro dziri kutaurwa munzvimbo dzakawanda dzauya nebudiriro dziri kuitika mumareserva tikona mumareserva vanhu vari kuvaka dzimba dzakanaka zvakuitawo kukwezva mbavha dzakufunga kuti ndokune kuine mari munhu atengesa pfuma yake vakumuteera vachimubira zvisi zvinhu zvakanaka izvozvo Gibbs.
Yeah, Ujalo. So lastly, we've got this lady who is a local leader as well. Let's hear what she's saying to Ezra Jesus one.
Yebo Sobhuku ulapha esigabeni sakuthiwa ungabla
Konsukunengi village.
Sukuneni village. Kwenzakalani abantu bathini la?
Abantu sebekhala ngezulu. Izulu ngobana ayi kungabe lokho kunje so singalamba.
Alini izulu?
Hayi izulu alikho. Ngabe kungayenza ukuthi amadona lani kungabe kungangenela masinya. Ukuthi sithole uncedo kusesemasinyane. Kungabe kungasiphathisa.
Lina njengabo Sobhuku liyakhuluma nohulumeni nangithi bathini uhulumeni?
lokho kuthiwe kusalungiselela ukuthi kube kuyabangcono asikwazi kodwa hayi ngendlela esikhangelele ngayo uhulumende yakasincedise lapha lalapha. Inye into esikhala ngayo esigabeni sethu ngabe sinceda ngepolice ngobana sesiyandele izigebenga kakhulu. Abantwana bayangenelwa akucaci ukuthi kwenzakalani kodwa ngokubona kwethu problem singayo thina esigabeni ukuthi abantu sihlala lapho.
Benzani abezigebenga?
Bayangenela abantwana abayabe ngani umuntu bangabakwazi ukuthi luwana laluwana ungani ulokhu yimadlanyana kwakhe ngani ulakho okuncane. Yikho lapho abalala khona sebekhona khonapho ebusuku.
Bezothatha imali leyo.
Bezothatha imali yona leya.
Ungathengisa izifuyo babuye bezoyithatha.
Bavele bahlala bekwazi ukuthi laphana lalaphana kule problem. Kule mali. Yi problem esingayo sikwazi ukuthi lingasincedisa njani. Ukuthi singancediseka kanjani ukuthi ngabe kungaba le police eduzane lathi futhi abazali bakhona okunye siyafihla. Yi problem. Okunye siyafihla. Yi problem esingayo kakhulu.
Liyafihla liyabe liyenza liyalifunda abantwana babotshwe.
Ngokwethu asifuni ukuthi abantu bethu babotshwe noma umntwana angaze azakale ukuthi ngwakho makhelwane lokhu lalokho laphana kucatshangela ukuthi ngumakhelwane lo onyathelela kodwa siyakunyathela. Enye into futhi eyiproblem lamapolisa yethu esiphila lawo esigabeni anganasicaceli kuhle. Ngobana lathi sesingani suspect ukuthi kusho ukuthi kulamapolisa phakathi ngobana singareport indaba ungabona ipolice ikwanisa ukuthi yona alike lizame lini ukubonisana ukuthi uhamba njani thina nxa sireport indaba sesenze ukuthi amapolisa asincedise.
Amapolisa ngoba kumele yiwa amela solve crime.
So indaba engani iyasikhathaza.
Kodwa ke konke lezo embangazo ukuthula kulawo kuliwa la.
Hayi okwamanje hayi akulamsindo. Okwamanje hayi kuthule hayi asila problem.
Ubathemisana abantu esigabeni sakho la njengosobhu ukuthini kubo abantu la benzeni?
Hayi mina njengosobhuku ngithi mina kube lokuthula njengobana kuhlezi kunje kuthembisayo ukuthi amapolisa singakwanisa ukusebenza sindawonye into zonke ziyalunga.
Well, Jonga, so she's really said that there are so many robberies around these days. She says, just like what the other traditional leader was saying, whenever you sell a car or do anything, there's some criminals around. But she says some of these criminal suspects are being protected by local people because it's a local boy stealing from a local person. So that becomes very difficult.
Yes, that's got to do sabhuku amai vava mudunhu ravari munhu anenge achiziva zviri kuitika zvokuti zvavataura zvinhu zvavanenge vachitoziva kuti ndo zviri kutora nzvimbo Gibbs.
Yes, on that note, I think we end our show today. We wish to thank Ezra Chisaswanda for providing all these videos, and Nunurai Jena, he also provided brilliant videos that we have been using today. And we thank everybody who participated in today's show. Signing off from Maryland, this is Gibbs Dube saying good night, Zimbabwe.
Tichitenda vaita irusike ve-community working group on health vatine hurukuru yatashandisawo muchirongwa chino yataita navo anokuonekai achiti murari zvakanaka. Ndini Jonga Kandemiri ndiri muWashington DC.
Good night.